story, which is also set in the McCarthy era in Los Angeles. It's funny that there are two of them, and that's part of our selection here, so deck and cover. The day outside is hazy and gray. The fan on the counter blows dust. Jell-O spins slowly in a glass case. The radio, always a notch too loud for my taste, is turned up even higher for NewsHour. The Army McCarthy hearings ended this week, and the man who invented the zipper has dropped dead. Can't you see Table 6 flagging you down, Alan asks. You think people like cold coffee? Alan Mandelbaum, always behind me ever since we were kids, always watching. I pick up the coffee pot and move down the aisle of customers. The regulars are at the counter, talking about the Yankees' prospects as if they'd never left the Bronx for Los Angeles. Beside them are their wives, distracted, knitting, fat leather pocketbooks on their laps. And there's my father in a red vinyl booth in the back. His head is bent over his lunch, so all I can see are newspaper-stained fingers gripping a turkey melt, even though it's Tuesday afternoon and he's promised to go out and look for a job. Home is a pale green duplex dropped onto a patch of dry lawn. My father and the guys are inside, squeezed into our tiny living room and scooping up fistfuls of pistachios from a bowl on the table. You heard about Murray Hirsch? My father's voice is low, but the way he speaks makes every word sound absolute. They got him this morning, right in his own yard. Didn't even let his wife take the kids inside. The guys groan, setting empty beers on the table. My father eyes the bottles, my cue to bring in a fresh six-pack from the icebox. If I stall a minute, he'll start to sniff and glance around the room, so I'm in the kitchen before he can start. On our kitchen table is a seashell pink cloth, dotted with daisies. My mother made it years ago, before she got sick. I was 5 when she died, and a few years later I had the brains to fold up the tablecloth and stick it in a closet. It makes no sense to stare at another person's things if they're never going to come back. But when I removed the cloth, it was somehow still there, and you could tell how old the table was without it, so I put it back on again. Judy, Lou Mandelbaum says now, leaning in the doorway. Hope all this business with Murray doesn't make you nervous. He winks. I've got a feeling Alan will look just like his father later in life, eyes round his fishbowls, knuckles and hands overshadowing the rest of him. Lou and my father met years ago, before Lou took over the restaurant, even before we all moved out west. Both jailed for organizing cells at the textile plant where they worked. They were best friends by the time bail came through. My father and Lou loved to moon over what a match Alan and I will make. In the same 10th grade class, from the same ilk, we've practically been engaged since birth. But you want to know what I see in a future with Alan? I see decade after decade under the restaurant's yellow lights in a house dress, flowered or checked, with rickrack along the hem, serving soup and saltines to old-timers still complaining about their backs and the heat and the lies of the press. We're parched in here, my father calls from the living room. I pull the bottles from the icebox and hand them to Lou. You hear that, I say? The king has spoken. I'll stop there.